Spiritual awakening sounds like some peaceful event where everything suddenly makes sense. People imagine candles, meditation, and floating above their problems. But let me tell you the raw truth. Spiritual awakening isn't about what you gain first. It's about what you lose. And what you lose will shock you. If you're here because you feel like everything in your life is breaking apart, relationships, beliefs, your identity, congratulations. You're not going crazy. You're waking up. And the chaos? It's not the end. It's the beginning of higher consciousness. This video isn't going to sugarcoat anything. I'll show you what truly falls away when you start evolving, when your inner world cracks open, and when your spirit begins to see past the illusions. Because before you become the person you're meant to be, you'll have to say goodbye to the version of you that was built for survival, not purpose. Let's get into it. You lose the need to fit in. Imagine walking into a room full of people you used to vibe with. You used to laugh at their jokes, go along with their opinions, and blend in perfectly. But now, everything feels off. Their small talk feels empty. Their values feel outdated. And you're just standing there thinking, what happened to me? Or better yet, what happened to all of us? Here's the truth. Spiritual awakening disconnects you from the need for external approval. You no longer crave validation from people who don't even know themselves. You stop molding yourself into a version that pleases the crowd. And that makes people uncomfortable. You'll feel the loneliness at first, but then something amazing happens. You begin to enjoy your own company more than forced connections. You start valuing depth over popularity. You realize fitting in was never the goal. Alignment was. It's like discovering you were wearing shoes 2 sizes too small your whole life. And now you're barefoot free, but raw. It hurts, but it also heals. That's the paradox. The moment you stop fitting in, you start standing out. You lose your old identity. If someone asked you a year ago, "Who are you?" you probably had a rehearsed answer. I'm a teacher. I'm a parent. I'm the funny one. I'm the dependable one. But now, you pause. You don't know what to say anymore. That pause? That's your transformation happening. During a spiritual awakening, your entire sense of self starts dissolving. And it's terrifying. Because the person you thought you were was built by society, family, trauma, and survival. That identity was a costume. An awakening rips it off. You start asking dangerous questions. What if I'm not who I thought I was? What if I'm more than this job, this title, this routine? Your ego will panic. It will scream for safety. But your soul? It's calm. Because it knows it's just the beginning. Losing your identity doesn't mean losing your mind. It means you're finally making space for your real self to emerge. Not the one trained by expectations, but the one rooted in truth. You don't find yourself during awakening, you uncover yourself. Piece by piece, layer by layer. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. You lose comfortable lies. There was a time you believed everything they told you. That success looks a certain way. That love means sacrifice. That happiness is outside of you. That life is linear. That being busy means being worthy. But once your awareness expands, you can't unsee the truth. You begin noticing how many lies you were fed, and how many you agreed to just to feel safe. You'll look at the news, social media, even casual conversations, and suddenly, the masks fall off. You start seeing the game being played. And it's not pretty. You realize people aren't always kind because they care. Sometimes they're kind because it benefits them. You realize success isn't always fulfilling. Sometimes it's just loud emptiness. You realize love isn't supposed to hurt, and that you deserve more. That's when the world starts calling you too sensitive or too intense. But don't shrink. You're not too much. You're just no longer asleep. The lies you lose will leave you disoriented at first, but clarity will rise from the ashes. You'll learn to trust your intuition more than authority, your experience more than their opinions. You'll stop outsourcing your truth. And yes, it'll make you a little rebellious, but that's the price of freedom. And freedom is the real luxury. You lose toxic connections. Let's be real. Some people were only meant to love the unhealed version of you. The moment you grow, they don't know how to handle you anymore. You'll notice the shift. The conversations dry up. The energy changes. You're not being dramatic. You're just evolving. During spiritual awakening, you don't just lose friends. You lose patterns. You stop being the fixer, the people pleaser, the one who says yes to avoid conflict. Suddenly, you have boundaries, standards, self-respect. And some people will say you've changed. But what they really mean is you've stopped serving their comfort. This is one of the hardest parts. You'll grieve people who are still alive. You'll miss the history, the laughs, the shared moments. But staying in old connections just because they're familiar? That's not loyalty. That's self-betrayal. Let them go with love, not bitterness. You're not better than them. You're just choosing a path they're not ready for. And that's okay. You don't have to explain your growth to people who still benefit from your past. Keep rising. Your energy will attract your tribe, and they won't be confused by your light. They'll reflect it. You lose control. Yes, the final blow. Control. You'll lose it. Completely. And it will feel like falling from a 100-story building blindfolded. Because spiritual awakening isn't a plan. It's a surrender. You'll wake up one day, thinking you know what your life looks like. Then boom, everything flips. Relationships break. Careers change. Dreams die. And yet, something inside you whispers, let it fall. That's higher consciousness working through you. It doesn't come with a map. It comes with faith. Not the religious kind, the kind that says, even though I don't understand this yet, I trust it's for my growth. Losing control doesn't mean becoming passive. It means becoming aligned. You stop forcing. You stop chasing. You stop needing everything to make sense right away. You start listening. You start observing. You start flowing. This is where you become dangerous in the best way. You no longer panic when things don't go as planned, because you understand there's a rhythm beyond logic. And when you dance with that rhythm, life unfolds in ways your old self couldn't even imagine. Letting go of control is terrifying, but it's also the moment you finally breathe. Fully, freely, fearlessly. Spiritual awakening isn't just about finding your light. It's about losing everything that blocks it. Your need to fit in, your old identity, the comforting lies, the toxic ties, the illusion of control. And while all that falling apart feels like dying, it's actually the moment you start truly living. If you've watched this far, I want you to know, you're not broken. You're breaking free. And that takes courage most people can't even imagine. So thank you for walking through this with me, for facing the uncomfortable, for allowing your spirit to rise, even when your world feels like it's collapsing. If this spoke to you, if you felt even one truth hit deep, let me know in the comments. Like this video. Subscribe for more. Not just for content, but for connection, for wisdom, for reminders that you are not alone on this journey. Your awakening is not the end of who you are. It's the beginning of who you were always meant to be. And I'm honored to be your guide through the storm.